Hey everybody, it's Kevin here from Smith's Hammer Guitar Pickups, and I thought it'd be fun to document my building a poor man's pedal board. Basically, I started out with an SHGP pedal board, the big plastic piece that has the power supply built into it and the carrying case. And after a few years of using that pedal board, basically stepping on it, that thing 2 nights, 3 nights a week, they kind of break apart and start getting real flimsy and start to bust up. So I thought I'd build myself a different, maybe improved pedal board using the existing parts from that old pedal board and some new other parts, which I will explain later. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, we'll start out by looking at the old pedal board that I'd built prior to this one. It was somewhat smaller, and the new one will be a larger pedal board, but here's the old case. And actually I started to build the new pedal board. I did one 6 months ago, and it's just too small, and I painted it too much, and it's got sticky paint on it, so I'm going to build this with a larger piece and paint it with some flat black paint, and hopefully it'll come out a lot better than this one did. So there's the old improved version. Let's go to for the new pedal board, just like the old one, I use the same type of materials, but this is a wider piece. It's a little larger. You can buy these at Lowe's or Home Depot. Basically, it's a piece of shelving that fits like on the wall like this, but what it has is this section under there that kind of tilts it up, so it's kind of keeps it on an angle, which is convenient when you want to hit your pedals and stuff. And it's pretty lightweight. The piece that I bought was 6 feet long by 16 inches this way. So I basically had to cut this one down, and what I did was I used the portion that was between these 3 stabilizer bars here. That way you have maximum strength on the outsides, and you know, you have at least 3 of those bars in there to keep things strong. And I just used a hacksaw to cut off the ends to shorten it down. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take a file and clean these off, because those are pretty sharp. Some of the edges there may be kind of get cut, so we'll go ahead and take care of that, clean that up, and after that we'll look at the next portion. Okay, I've got the new pedal board all painted in flat black. It looks good. This is the old pedal board. I just pulled all the pedals off. One of my key pieces on this board is the Loop Master bypass. Basically, I can hook any loop of pedals into each channel and just completely bypass them when I want to go to the amp straight up. So you don't have all these effects in one line that are sucking up all the tone. And this works really well for just hitting certain pedals, and I just leave them all on, and that sits at the front of the board. I pretty much just control everything from here. Although I do need a larger pedal because I'm starting to run out of loops. Anyway, I'm going to start prepping this board by doing a few things, and I'll show you those things in a minute. So, okay, one of the key elements to making this board stable is using that's a 1-inch dowel underneath there. Basically, if I didn't use the dowel, this thing would flex way too much. And I don't need a lot of stability up here, because all the pedals that I push will be here or in the middle somewhere towards the bottom. What happens though when you step on this, it flexes. So this dowel, I've notched it in 3 spots here. What I'll do is I'll place it right underneath here, and I'll take some of the lock ties and I'll lock it into place in 3 spots, and that basically gives it a lot of stability here, so anything I step on, this thing is going to not move. It's especially key when you got the wah-wah pedal on the board, which it takes a lot of physical strength to keep that thing from, you know, from moving around. So that dowel definitely helps that thing stay stable when I use this pedal. Another thing about this pedal board is the power supply. A lot of you will use the Voodoo power supplies or a brick that supplies everything, and sometimes those will fit under the board. Now one of those may fit under the front here, but I'm not going to use one of those. Like I said, it was the SHGP pedal board that I kind of tore apart, and I'm using the power supply out of that. Now what it is the power supply it's a strip of PC board with 6 power connections that mount into the back of this plastic pedal board. I wanted to use those, and what it is I pulled it out of there, and like I said, it's just a strip on a PC board with 6 inputs and the power indicator and the power input for the power supply that plugs into that. Trying to house that piece was kind of difficult to find something that was compact that would fit under here and would be about 1 foot long. And what I ended up coming up with was a piece of PVC pipe that I painted black, and I drilled 6 holes for the power outlets. You may not be able to see, but that PC strip goes all the way through there, and basically there's plenty of airflow through there to keep it cool. But here are the 6 power outputs for the pedals. There's also the light indicator I drilled a hole for so you can see the power, and that's where the transformer power plugs into. I'm going to mount that right underneath here so I can run the power right underneath all these grids into here, so they stay kind of below the board. So that mounts right underneath there, and it's real easy to get plugged in when I'm ready to play. So let me go ahead and mount this and the stabilizer bar, and we'll talk then. Okay, I've got the power supply and the stabilizer bar in place. Use some of the black Loctites there. There's the power supply. There's the stabilizer bar. Basically everything's under there, so now I can run all my cables and stuff underneath here, power cables. You won't even see them up top, or they'll be out of the way at least. You'll see some of them. On a piece of carpet, usually it's just pretty solid. With all the pedals on here, it'll be definitely a lot more solid because they kind of like keep it pressed in place. But overall, it came out pretty good, and I'm going to go ahead and attach the pedals now and maybe give you a final look. So, okay, this is the final chapter in the saga of the Cheap Man's pedal board. I kind of got it finished up here. As usual, things changed as I went through and started to build it. One of the big things that I did to change was it was about 4 inches longer here, and it just didn't fit in the pedal board bag very well, and it didn't really change the profile of the board. It didn't give me much more room. It just kind of spread these out. Actually, the pedal board being longer would have helped because you have more room for other things, but this way, not so much. So this is a 12-inch piece here, and it actually works out pretty well. I can also move these down and kind of spread them out, but it worked out real well this way. I also did an option. Instead of having the wah-wah mounted on the pedal board, I just moved it to the side, and I've got the 2 audio cables here and then the power cables here. Just put this in the gig bag and hook it up when I'm ready to play. So everything is pretty much here. I'll show you the back of this thing. I don't know if you can see it. Here's the power supply. That tube is connected under here, and all the cables are hooked up underneath there and kind of cable tied down, and it worked out pretty good. I like the way this pedal board lays out. Kind of angles up a little bit, which is good, and it's a real good board. Again, I added another feature to this board too. I built my own. It's an AB looper. Basically what it does, it doesn't turn anything off. It just lets me switch between 2 distortion pedals, so I can switch back and forth with my foot here. Actually, I've got on order a foot switch for this, so it'll be a stomp in about a week here once I get that other switch and install it. But it's pretty simple. The AB'er it's a double pull, double throw on switch, so I'm just selecting between which loop I want to go with. Pretty simple. So, and I shut that on and off here, so when I want to bypass these, I just bypass it right there and it's done. So I turn the distortion on and off here, and I switch which one I want to use here. So I can have one a little louder than the other for like a boost or whatever I want to do with that. anyway, the pedal board turned out pretty good, and I hope you may use this. It may be helpful to anybody trying to build a pedal board for, you know, 20-30 bucks. Worked out pretty well for me. So anyways, see you later.